Does it not feel so good?
It feels pretty good to
It
me.
fe- and it feels good to me. Woo! How does this
I
Taco
love that.
Tuesday? Now
Three,
I
two,
have a
one. We're
question.
on there live.
Now I have a question for you.
Yes, you do.
Uh, are you drinking alcohol today?
Not today. No, it's like 90 frigging degrees right now, and that's the worst thing I could do. Lots and lots of water right now.
That's
Staying
right, because
hydrated.
you're in Las Feliz, Los Angeles. Yeah.
Yes, I am. Yes,
Yes.
I am. Yeah.
So where were you when the president got indicted?
I was here in my living room. I started getting a flurry of news bulletins on my phone. Ding, ding, ding. And then I got a thing from ABC News, a live feed, and I started watching. And then I think you started texting me, but I just wanted to watch the news, watch this all unfold. How did
Mm.
you feel? How did you feel?
I felt pretty good. I mean,
I have to admit, I did
I
too.
was asked to go in and I was asked to go in and look at Jack Smith before, and I saw his docket, and he said, and when I saw his docket, it said July 29th, like it's the day, and so I thought, oh, that's significant. So I guess they worked on Saturday to
Uh,
bring, I guess,
yeah,
to
I
bring the
knew
grand jury
you
in on
did that.
Monday. Yeah, I guess they
Yeah, I
do
was
it.
very
They
proud of
file
you.
electronically. Yeah, but
You know, I have to admit, I'm happy because I'm just glad to see justice prevail. It's been very hard for me, and it's been for many people to just watch this man get away with everything, one after the other. Finally, there's this feeling that some justice is taking place. It's all catching
mhm.
up with him, as it should.
Well, we're going to talk about all of that in just a sec. But before we get started, Chuck and I want to welcome you. Thank you, everybody who has decided to join us for Taco Tuesday. This is our fun get together. We get to have Chuck here and we talk about everything. Sure, we can talk about politics because the indictments have happened. So we can certainly talk about that. But we talk about everything. We talk about
Oh God,
spirits. We talk about
we
remote
talk about
UFOs,
medicine.
the new UFO research, right? So
Yeah, we do.
everything is on the table for Taco Tuesday, and of course, you needn't be sober for Taco Tuesday. Also, we have a couple
Oh,
announcements.
good. You mean we could get
We
drunk
have
on
so many,
margaritas in the show
we
next
have
week?
so many things going on for August. I've got to tell everybody. First off, if you can like and subscribe to this wacky channel, I know that I and Chuck would both be grateful. But we
We
have
will.
a book club. We have a book club, Chuck. You and me. We started a book
Yeah,
club. It's very exciting. It's called
just like
uh,
Oprah.
Yes, yes. And
Good.
our book of the month is going to be Inviting the Queen. Inviting the Queen, and you get a free copy, by the way.
I'm looking forward to
Yes,
it.
and I will be delivering your copy to you.
Oh,
I
I
see
get my
you in a couple
copy
of
in person
days.
while we have
Sandra
margaritas
Rogers,
together.
all about empowering women as we go through menopause. Yeah, it's
Oh,
about they used to have it mother, maiden, crone, which is kind of degrading, but it's actually the time
yeah,
of royalty. We come into our power. And I
yeah,
know you support and love women, so you're going to enjoy
absolutely. I
reading that
do.
as well.
Well, Whimsy, when you said that about the crone in those tribal societies, those are the matriarchs, the most respected and revered of the women.
Yes, and that is
Culture.
exactly why we're excited about reading this particular book.
I am looking forward to it very much.
And speaking of menopause and women and all that beautiful flowing estrogen, the other thing we have to
Yeah,
look forward to for August is that Tanya is going to be doing another interview. It's going to be a
I
third
love Tanya.
interview, and every month she tackles a different issue regarding the transgender community. So people want to know about those sorts of things. And the number one question is about estrogen. Did you know that? Did you know how
Yeah,
important estrogen is, Chuck?
I do because you trained me to be your physician's assistant.
I
I'm
did.
very
Mhm.
familiar with that. We spent a long time discussing hormones and the relevance.
Yes. And when Tawny and I first met, we met at a Buddhist study center.
Yeah.
We were both going through changes. Yes, we were both in our 50s, and I was going through a perimenopause. She was going through what she was going, and we would go and we would eat tapas and have hot flashes and weep about not getting enough estrogen. It was a bonding of estrogen.
Yes, I
We would
love it.
cry with the bartender. He would bring us a bucket of ice. We would put the bucket of ice on top of our heads, and we would cry about estrogen. And
Yeah.
and this is how Tony and I became so close.
I was going to
It's
say,
all about the
look at
estrogen.
where the two of you are now.
Exactly. So
You
the
found
next,
balance
so who needs
harmony.
estrogen? What does estrogen do? How can it be helpful to you if you are transgender? Estrogen and progesterone. That is so. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it as well. I have great respect for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
Looking forward to your next
uh,
story.
you changed your painting.
I sure did. Uh,
Do tell me what in the world is going. Oh my God, that's
yeah.
gorgeous.
Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe. But I rarely show works in progress. And I was mentioning this to you the other day, and you encouraged me to bring this on so I can show it as it progresses. I talk with Marilyn when I paint her, as I do with almost any of my subjects. I feel their energy. I connect. It's abstract, but I try to instill that energy into the artwork, especially in the eyes. And I was mentioning to you that whenever Marilyn chooses to be with me or I'm able to contact her, I always get a great sense of, for want of a better word, street smarts. Not not the victim, not this helpless little victim, the whole world shitting on her head. No, this I feel that was coming through in the painting. The strength. This was a woman who was a lot tougher than she was ever given credit for. And she even said to me, I would not have gotten where I was had I not have been tough. And if you know any actors in this town, they will know exactly what that means. You have to hold on to your tender vulnerability, your talents, but you also have to be tough and resilient and be able to take the blows as they come your way. And that's what Marilyn keeps telling me. And I wanted to do a painting that reflected that. Yeah.
When I look at this painting, it's very stoic. I mean, when you
Yeah.
look at that face, I know she was a foster child and she was
Yeah.
raised. Her foster parents were poor people. They probably worked hard. I mean, there's a stoicism you see in how you depicted her.
What I was feeling, I was trying to get away from the stereotype of Marilyn, even though, the photo I was working from was the classic 7-year itch, the white dress, of course, that billows up over the subway grating. But unexpectedly, that toughness, that inner strength started to permeate the painting. So I'm hoping as I continue working on it, that's going to come through more. But
When I'm,
yes,
I'm sorry to interrupt. When you connect with a spirit and you begin to get into, I assume you get into an altered state, right? So do you feel your energy begin to shift into a kind of dreamy state as you begin to enter into this kind of intimate relationship with the person you're painting?
yes, that's why I've said many times when I do this, I have to be alone and I have to be in a quiet meditative state. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It's not like I can turn it on like a machine or a light switch. I actually have to take that time to get still and to breathe and to become one with the energy. So I suppose in that respect, it is like an alpha state or like a dreamlike state. It's not so much where I'm completely unconscious or completely out of it. I'm very much aware of my surroundings because I do grounding exercises before I do this. So I'm extremely grounded. I think that's essential when you do this.
Yes, yes, we
I
teach
can
that.
get too ethereal, too out there. So that grounding helps me greatly. And that's when I'm usually able to pull in people. And when I do a painting such as this gives me the luxury of being with that energy for a long time. I try never to impose upon the spirit. It's not like, oh, Marilyn, you have to be here for the next 5 hours or so, but please share with me your essence. Please help me to encode this into the painting. And I do that with a lot of my work. Like when I did the Lucille Ball paintings for her home, I said the same thing to Lucy. I don't know what you want to say, but would you help me to energetically encode this into the work? I did that with James Dean when I did paintings for Fairmount. I said, what do you want to tell the people who come there to visit your town? And again, this is all abstract because that's what art is. Art gives
Yeah.
us the chance to say things that we can't put into words, we can't make tangible, but it's to take these abstract feelings. If that makes sense, what I'm even saying right now. But that's the
Right.
best way I can
Yeah.
describe it.
So Shivani Dumas is talking about your painting, and she was saying that it captures the blueprint very
Oh,
accurately.
thank you.
Yeah, and also there
Thank
were
you.
comments from her that indigenous cultures, it's important that we did ceremonies to honor women in shamanic circles, and I thought that was really kind of about the book. I thought that was kind of a nice
Yeah,
insight.
I think that is.
Somebody had said that it was true what you had said about Marilyn, that she was, oh, Lanita Whitaker said exactly she was from the streets. I mean, like that she,
Yeah, that, I can only say honestly what I feel. And sometimes it doesn't always make sense to me, but I know what I'm feeling. And I just say truthfully, I always get street smarts from her. That's the thing that is predominant with Marilyn Monroe. And I was not expecting that at all.
yeah. It makes you wonder who took care of her. I mean, probably other misfits, right? Probably took
Other
care of her.
misfits.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, people who knew Marilyn said she had tremendous empathy for others, people who were less fortunate. Those were the people she always wanted to be there for, to help in whatever ways, to help to pull them up, just to give emotional support to people. And there have been a lot of stars who were on the way up who have said that. Joan Collins said that. She befriended Marilyn back in the 50s. And this was when Joan first came here from England. And she was a fledgling starlet, much like Marilyn was in the late 40s. And Marilyn took her under her wing and gave her practical, sound advice that no one else would have given her.
Hmm. Let's see here. So, wow, you're channeling and finding yourself, that space where you are to produce such beautiful world,
Oh,
said Tariana. That's nice.
thank you, Tariana. Thank you.
Uh, she looks
Great.
like she's
Oh,
talking from her heart with a close friend. Oh, yeah, very interesting.
how it felt. I do my very, very best to connect on a heartfelt level with my subjects and just let them say whatever they want to say. And I try my best to be, for want of a better word, a vessel.
Uh,
A,
when you tune in to someone like Marilyn Monroe, does she ever start to give you private details about her marriages or any of that stuff about what life was like when she was alive?
no, very rarely. Rarely. I think that might be because Marilyn knows I've read a lot of biographies. I know a lot of that, and I think to her that's old hat. She'd rather talk about more personal, intimate things, maybe the things that aren't so well known. Though she has given me personal advice. Um, this was just in regards to acting, being on stage, making a presence. I probably have told this story before in your interviews, but if you've ever watched Marilyn on film, how regal and poised she was, and how there was just this, she was like a queen when you would see her walking, making an entrance, and it was completely innate because people couldn't imitate it. There were a lot of people tried to copy Marilyn. Nobody could imitate what she had. And she said, well, I'm going to tell you my little secret here. I used to envision gold rings of energy around me. And she was even saying that I want you to practice this with me. And she said, now imagine you've got a gold ring of energy, of light around your head. Now imagine it going around your body and let it spin. And then she said, now make it expand outward. And she said, Chuck, that's what I did.
Wow,
That
that's so cool. So she told
isn't
you
that
how to come
cool?
across as, do you ever do it?
Well, not as much as I should. I should be doing it right now. But yes, I thought that was quite
Maybe
something.
before a hot date. Maybe before a hot
Maybe for a hot date, that's not a bad idea. But I
date.
thought that was so beautiful. And again, that's something I never would have made up myself. That's how I know the spirit writing is authentic, the channeling. It's when it's things I would never in a million years think of for myself. But when she said that, I thought that makes sense. And you go back and you watch your movies, look at her and look at that energy radiating outward, unlike any other human being in the world.
Okay, so we have another question about the painting you did or the sketch you're doing. Is there a dangling earring or a bell making a metallic noise or just a mic artifact? Oh, that's about me. No, it's probably this.
It's probably
I thought it
that.
was about the art that they were asking.
I don't know.
Okay, another great line. Marilyn,
Oh,
she
a
practiced
lovely
becoming,
compliment.
what?
I just saw a lovely compliment. Love Marilyn. Can't
Uh-huh.
wait to see the finished painting, but it's grand as it exists now. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. She practiced becoming that character over a long time by watching herself speaking into a mirror. You know, that's the thing. They say there really was no Marilyn Monroe, and that if you go chasing after Marilyn Monroe, you won't find her because it's just a character developed by an actor who studied with Lee Strasberg, whose real name is Norma Jean Baker.
Well,
And she's not even a blonde, she's a
well,
brunette.
that much is true. That much is true. But I still think that was innately part of her soul. It was just too true. There was too much integrity to what she did for it not to be part of her soul. But if I may say one thing, I don't want to get off the subject here. Lucille Ball, when she was a little girl, her first performing was washing dishes in the kitchen, and there was a mirror over the sink, and she used to emote into the mirror and make faces and play act, and her family witnessed this, and they said that's when she was like 7, 8 years old. That was her first performing. So I think maybe Lucy was creating Lucy in those embryonic stages with that
Wow,
mirror.
that's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we will switch gears and do some blitzing away. Maybe we'll do the
Okay,
last prayer. Does that sound good to you? And
that
I know
sounds good.
it's a really big news day, and I know people are going to want to talk a lot about what's going on. I don't know if you know, but Fani Willis out of Georgia is ready to prosecute.
I
When
didn't
I
know.
did a remote, I saw something about August 4th, so I don't know if she files the final thing on the 4th. Is the 4th going to be a Saturday also? Dang, if it is, that's
Let me think. What is
no,
today? Today.
4th is going to be a Friday.
Okay, business day.
So we something is serious. Oh, so does that mean? Oh, I guess maybe it'll go down this week. Dang. Well, let's maybe we should do the impasse prayer. Does that sound good?
Okay,
All right. And then if you all want to blitz away with us, that's absolutely fine. Just make sure to leave your questions here. Big question marks always help. A blitz is a 3 to 5 minute question. Chuck will be using pendulum. I'll be using these cards. All right. Let's do the impasse prayer. All right. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys, to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together, collectively, as a community, we say, Amen. Be kind to all, so that
indeed.
all can be kind to you too. Cheers. L'chaim, l'chaim. Just wanted to give a special shout out to the beautiful Debbie Brady, who designs all of our merch. Let me see which one you got, Chuck. That's cute. That's the
Thank
one.
you.
Didn't you also get the shirt? Also, I think I
Let
might
me
be
see if I can
selling
hold
it.
this up.
Oh my God, that's gorgeous. That's the. I think I got. That's the one I got for you. But I think I didn't know
Yeah.
what size you wore. I think I got it
Yeah,
way
you
too
got it
big.
about 4 sizes too big. It's like a nightshirt. That's
Okay.
why I'm
Well,
having to hold it.
next time I see you, we'll measure you. I'll get you something
Okay.
else nice.
Yeah, I normally wear a large. I think you sent an XXXL. Laura.
So, I was telling my friends here, that you and I got to go to Meghan and Harry's pre-wedding party
Yeah.
because it fell on your birthday. And so
Hmm.
we went and had steaks at the Corral on
At the,
Sunset. You remember
yes, I
with
remember that.
Tawny? And
A great
Tawny
time.
came to your birthday. It was you, me, and Tawny, remember?
Yes,
And
that's
we had
right.
steaks.
Well,
And do you remember who came in?
um,
Meghan Markle's classmates.
oh yes, that's right. That is right. How did I forget a thing like that? It was like, wasn't it like about 20 of them?
Yes. It was. They were all from Cal State or wherever she went to grad. We
Yeah,
love you,
right.
Megan.
Yeah. You know, those of us who live in LA, we live surrealistic lives.
And we
You
live
know,
so close together, right? I
yeah.
think people thought I was faking it. I have a witness here. They and
No,
that they
it
were
is
on
absolutely
they were on evening gowns and they got on the.
I witnessed.
Do you remember that? And they got on, and the woman had the tiara. He got drunk. She went, "I love you, Megan." And then we got free cake from the waiter. It's awesome.
Yes, yes. Now the one thing we didn't do, we didn't get on the mechanical bull.
Do you have to pay for? No, I'm afraid of those things. I'm afraid of
I'm
those.
afraid of them too, but I guess if I had gotten drunk enough, I might have gotten on one. We
Yeah, and
both would have
everybody was
been like,
happy. Even the waiter was happy. The waiter who was handing out cake to everybody, and they're like, "Why did we get?"
yes,
He's like, "I don't know. Everyone get cake. I don't know. We're all so
everybody gets
happy."
cake.
It was so optimistic before we were so optimistic before Meghan and Harry got married. We had such
Yes,
high
we
hopes
were.
for the royals, didn't we? All right, let's let's look at some questions here.
Okay.
Okay, so Anne Hamlet is saying that Jack wants a speedy trial. What do you think about that? Are we going to get a speedy trial?
Oh, I hope so. But are we going to get a speedy? We're going to get a speedy trial. Okay. I'm getting getting a maybe, not quite a yes, but not a no, more the maybe, because I think it's ambiguous still. Because how do you define speedy? You know, speedy could still be several months away. But let's see what your cards say.
They say he's ready to go, and that's why it's speedy because
Yeah,
excuse me, they were so cocky that they literally caught them holding the bag. He's in the sun, which
yeah.
would denote that it's completely exposed. There, you can't. It's like all those crypto accounts they now have. When I went into the remote on cryptocurrency, do not invest in Bitcoin, my friends, because what it looks like the feds are gathering up so many Bitcoin accounts that
Oh
they
my.
could take out Bitcoin just by the amount of Bitcoin that the feds have confiscated, which I would imagine would have a huge impact on the worth of the Bitcoin if the
I
feds
was
just keep
think,
confiscating everything. So how's that for a
whims.
heads up for anybody investing in
Yeah.
Bitcoin? But
Whims.
yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm interrupting. I'm
Yeah,
so
but so there's
sorry.
grief for the
The put.
defendant.
Yeah.
Also, he's coming with an ace of wands, which is like the penis, right? It's the big cojones. And then smooth waters lay ahead for the trial, which would indicate he's pretty much ready to go. And uh, this is why, boy, the guy did it to himself. You know how many times he's been given opportunities to cooperate with the investigation?
They mentioned that on the news, that a lot of this could have been prevented in the first place if Trump had just cooperated. But if I may ask, when you said that about Bitcoin, do you see that being catastrophic for the economy, like a big collapse of some
Well,
kind?
what happened when I went, so people asked me to go into the federal investigation because they started taking everybody's yachts, right? So what happened when I went in is we would find this stuff and it would be abandoned and I couldn't find out who the hell had owned it. And we would start finding crypto accounts. They've been abandoned. And we're talking about millions and millions and millions of dollars of crypto that's not account that literally was abandoned by mobsters. We don't know who owns this stuff. We're not talking about a few $1 million. We're talking hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. It
Yeah.
now in possession of by the FBI. The feds now own it. They own those accounts. So what's that going to ultimately do? Theoretically, they could shut it down. They could do all kinds of things. Isn't that
Yeah.
crazy?
It's crazy. We have a comment here. Crypto must have been financing the Putin war,
Yeah, yeah,
eat to funnel money.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Joel,
that certainly would not.
so we have a question here from Joel Tilson. He wanted to know the Belarusian helicopters are flying over Poland today. Will Poland or NATO act? They're trying to pull NATO into the war, right? Because if NATO gets into the war, then theoretically Russia's allies will have to get in. Look, I'm being attacked by NATO. So that's what he wants. He wants to be attacked by NATO so that China and Syria and Iran will say, well, of course, we're going to arm you. North Korea is now saying that even though they can barely feed themselves. So let's go ahead and take a look and see about the situation with Belarus and if NATO is going to put a stop to the crazy in Belarus.
Stop business in Belarus. What are you getting? I'm getting kind of a no.
Well, the victory lies with Ukraine. That's what I feel. So, I
Yeah.
mean, I think it's a fool's journey and it's suicidal for Wagner or any group to try and take on NATO right now because you've got NATO in a position of the emperor, and the emperor is a card that would denote power, strength, authority, etc. You also have this emperor card. You have this really strong NATO, also with a Queen of Wands. You know, Queen of Wands. She seeks just. I mean, she just she will plow through, and then Knight of Wands is ready to rock and roll. That must be the counteroffensive in Ukraine because the Knight of Wands, as far as war goes, that's an Aries in motion. And you know, in Aries, they just go, 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 right? The Fire Wand King. These are fire, Aries, and war cards. This is somebody who's in their prefrontal cortex. You know, they're in their head. So I would say
Right.
it reminds me of the fall of Iraq when Saddam Hussein just started destroying everything. Yeah.
Whimsy, I have a question here from Julie. Will there be democracy in Russia in our lifetime?
Let's take a look.
Russia in our lifetime. I'm getting a yes for myself. But then again, when we say our lifetime, that can vary. But I'm getting a yes.
Yes, the sun is coming up over Russia. Cooler heads will prevail. Diplomats in Russia are taking over for the warmongers because you've got this emperor coming in, which is the prefrontal cortex. It's the solid good daddy. Then you also have the laws, the Torah, and then you have the wish card granted, which would indicate that they have strong, stable leadership and laws in the future. Those are very good cards, one denoting strong authority rather than a dictatorship, and one indicating solid laws.
Yeah.
What I feel when I go into this energy and what I hear from Russian historians, I've had friends who are Russian historians that very much are sad about everything that's happening in Russia, but they say that everything is there. You know, when they went through the revolution and they rebuilt what Russia could be, etc., particularly after the wall fell, there was a lot of good government. There was a lot of good legislation that happened that they can go back to reestablish a strong Russia. They don't, in plainer words, what they're saying, what activists in Russia are saying is we don't have to go back and reinvent the wheel. We just have to go back to what we had, what we've already
Right.
established that.
Well, well, Russia technically has always claimed to be a democracy. Well, not always, but certainly since the fall of the Berlin Wall, the end of the Cold War. So now it's just time to get to a
That's what they're
real,
saying.
authentic
Yeah,
democracy.
yeah. Very interesting question.
Yes, that is.
So, questions. People are talking about good for the feds, good for the feds that were Tarino. I'm so bad with names. Tarina Varera. Oh, good for the feds. On the conversation, since we're on the subject of the feds and everything now that's going on with Donald Trump, and the feds are kind of under a microscope right now, aren't they? They
Oh, they
Everyone's
sure.
looking at what are you going to do about all this corruption, right?
Well, it's just I think the people who have any sanity right now are questioning this. I mean, we've many of us have been standing back just watching this madness unfold. Trump getting away seemingly with everything. Top level politicians supporting him. In fact, today, did you see that Trump is massively ahead in the polls? DeSantis is like 37% behind. And I also saw that if there was a matchup between Trump and Biden, a theoretical, it would be a 43-43 dead heat tie.
I'm never worried about
How?
those things because, first off, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
The guy's probably going to be incarcerated this month. I mean, his cards are terrible, but let's go ahead and take.
just
I always see, look, the guy can't keep his mouth shut. He can't keep a lawyer. It's gotten to a point where he's blown through millions of dollars of his super PAC money for legal defense.
oh, I saw that today. The super PAC money out of $23 million, 21, is it million or billion?
21
But
million.
20 billion, okay,
Million, not
23
billion. No,
billion
no, no. Million.
million. Okay, 21 million of that has gone for his legal defense.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well,
I,
I'm curious. Let's take a look and see if more people are going to be charged. Because you know what's interesting about this indictment? I don't know how much of you. They're just now looking at it for charges. There's two things I want to throw on the yes or nos. The first is, are they going to add more charges to the existing charges? Because I feel like this is only the beginning. The second is,
mhm.
they're talking about co-conspirator one, two, three, four, five, and six. They know that Eastman is co-conspirator number two, for example. But now they're talking about this senator and that
Yeah.
senator. Oh my God. I'm enjoying this so much. So it's like, when are they going to be
Oh,
indicted?
I have
So,
to
I
admit,
mean, like, there's so many
it's like
questions
just
I have.
dessert.
So what's the first one we're doing?
Yeah. What is the first one we're doing?
Okay, I think what people
Let's
want to know is,
see here.
are more people in the government, in Congress, going to be indicted? Let's do that. Let's do that first.
I almost know the answer to that, but
I'm so excited. I love this stuff.
I'm getting a big old yes. What are you getting?
Oh,
Big fat yes.
what? What is it? Oh,
Oh.
yes, yes. Oh my God, hammer and sickle.
Yeah, I just said I got a big
Yeah, look at
yes.
that evidence. Here's the feds.
Yeah.
I use the hidden king, like the coin king is also known as the mysterious or hidden king. I think of the GI man as the hidden. If you were going to use a card to depict the GI man, it would be the hidden. And the king of pentacles is the hidden king. You never know what they're up to. So that's GI man. Evidence of the GI
Yeah.
man to face incarceration. This is incarceration. Isn't that great? Look at this.
I think
Look at
so.
this. Ghosters
Yeah.
going down.
Ooh.
Isn't it awesome? I mean, we can do.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Be kind to all, so it all can be. I am kind. I think
Yes,
I'm
you are.
happy for
We're
American
both kind.
people. Yes.
It's because we're kind people that we are so upset by all of this injustice we've been watching for years and years. We want to see things right. Polls are rigged because mainstream media hate Democrats. Well, that's a comment from Steve. He says polls are rigged because mainstream media hate Democrats.
Well,
How do
you
you feel
you
about
definitely have the corporate Democrats. Ooh, look at all that green. Woo! You definitely have what are called the
that?
corporate
Yeah.
Democrats. We will let, yeah, a little bit of environmentalism is a good thing. So, but don't interrupt our company, right? General Electric owning NBC, that sort
Yeah.
of thing. So you have to, what is it, mostly nuclear, where they get their energy. But the point is,
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, gas, coal, nuclear, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So there's questions about just how much we can get away with if we go with a company that's owned by General Electric, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Well, look at all the war contracts General Electric had during the Afghanistan
Oh
war,
wow!
and of course General Electric, I don't know if they still do at the time. No, no, that's right. Universal owns NBC now, but at one time, General Electric owned NBC. So, of course, they controlled the nightly news and what was being said and how the war was being covered because they had so many war contracts to benefit from.
Hmm. So I think what I would want to do now is I would want to, since they've already mentioned these people in the Senate, and since he's already been indicted, it might be kind of fun to find out who they're talking about. I don't know. I mean, um, I'm kind of curious if Lindsey Graham also, if he could be, could happen to him in Georgia, since he was trying to intimidate people out of Georgia. So let's go ahead and we'll check first Lindsey Graham, if he's going to be indicted.
Is Lindsey Graham
Can you
indicted?
believe? I mean, malignant narcissists can get people to do anything.
Mhm. Some call it drinking Kool-Aid. Lindsey Graham going to be indicted. Um, I've asked it 3 times. I'm getting more of a no with my pendulum, but what are your cards showing?
He's in trouble. He's under investigation for collusion.
Yeah.
The,
But I don't know what. I
the,
asked the question, is he going to be indicted?
it's maybe. I mean, I don't know, but
No, and
you
no.
have a Knight of Wands, which is a war card, which would indicate they're going after him due to what? Collusion.
Yeah.
Lover's card is a collusion or to fair or to cheat,
Yeah.
right?
I agree with you.
Hang
I
it
agree with
up,
what you.
and then there's a case here. So you know, if they, yes, yes, unfortunately, it looks like Lindsey Graham's going to be charged.
Okay, as he should be. He should be. I don't know what that no is about. I'm getting, unless I was asking the question too ambiguously.
I don't
Because I
know. I mean, let me find out more about this. But so you were getting that Lindsey Graham.
I
Oh
just
my
is
God! They might be
indicted.
charging multiple members of the Republican Party, and then this goes
Really,
crazy. That's what I'm
this.
feeling. I'm feeling like multiple people could be charged. Look at this. The Knight of
Okay,
War goes after them. The Knight of Wands is the Mars Knight.
okay.
Then,
Now that I'm getting a yes on that.
yeah,
Easy
so
yes.
it could be part of a multiple sting and not just one person, because you have this war card, right? And then you have people being arrested and charged. Look at that. And then you have the family cheating the family. Look at the family getting together. This little cheating thing going on here. Infidelity. And then look at this, defending themselves. The hanged man. Hang can be a conviction too, by the way. And then look at
It,
this. They're fighting. They're freaking out. Five of Wands with the evidence. This is multiple charges, multiple people and multiple
wow.
charges. I think they're going to charge Gosser, and I think that they're going to charge Lindsey Graham, and that shocks me. But why wouldn't
Yeah.
they charge Lindsey Graham? No wonder Lindsey Graham's been freaking
But
out.
worse. Well, David is asking, how about the entire Republican Party?
Well, I think David's asking a really important question, because the
Yeah.
Republican Party is the Trump party. Trump is the Republican Party, and if he is a criminal, the people that propped him up are criminals. And so, yeah, you could argue that
Yeah.
a lot of leadership in the Republican Party are going to prison. It's like when we did a remote on January 6th, and when I went into it, I found that there were Republican Republican the committees. I mean, the Republican Party precincts. They were using their headquarters in order to organize this coup. They were organizing via local Republican headquarters, which means all those computers have to be under federal. Can you imagine they used their Republican Party resources in order to do this? Their computers.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so they had to raid. So they went into this Republican in Colorado and this
Yeah.
one, where they were. These people went into these areas, intimidated local Republicans, and took over their resources. That's what it looked like. They also took
Yeah.
over that hotel. Remember that
It just
the Willard Hotel when they were all meeting. All of those people. I think one of his Giuliani. I mean, there's another one. Jeez.
yeah. It just seems to me this has to implode. We've been watching this for years. How can it possibly be supported and sustained longer?
I'm kind of curious if you want to look at Giuliani with me, because I feel like Giuliani gave everything. I feel like they got a total confession from Giuliani, but let's take a look at it because
Okay. Is Giuliani going to be?
did Giuliani get indicted today? I know that how many people got indicted?
Don't. I'm not sure how many. I saw that there
The
were
Kraken woman got indicted, didn't she?
people in. Yeah, I saw in Michigan. I think it was one of the GOP candidate for attorney general, and I forget who else, but the people who were involved in swaying the electoral votes, or at least were trying to.
Okay.
So there have been some indictments. As Pam said, it could not happen to more deserving people.
Hmm.
And David said, yes, 6 indictments today.
I think they're going after Congress. I think I think it's just very obvious to me. Look, you've got this again, this collusion here, the lover's card, which would be to cheat, and then here a partnership of infidelity.
Yeah.
The president was involved in cheating with the president, and then you have this issue of money. Why do they need money so much? It's like a disease or something.
It's about power. It's about power. It's about who has the most toys. Um, it's like, frankly, whose dick is bigger. I have more money than you. I think it's so it's childish and it's evil at the same time. I mean, just whatever happened to the notion of public servants? The politicians here to serve for the higher good of the people. That just seems so gone out the window. Peter's asking, what about the Federalist? The question went off the screen. Federalist Society, did you say?
Yeah, let's look at if the Federalist Society is going to be audited, if there's going to be some kind of internal, or maybe there is an internal investigation going on of their involvement in this.
My suspicion there already is. That's what my gut tells me. Investigation. I'm just getting a lot. I'm getting from my pension lots of internal investigations are going on right now, all over the board, not just there. What are you
The
getting?
devil.
The devil.
So what's also interesting is that I mean it just blows my mind. There's some wild remote views I did of the Republican Party. That blows my mind. Can you imagine that your entire life you've been volunteering as a poll worker, you've been volunteering for your local Republican Party, and this crazy thing happens and they start
Oh,
picking you up and throwing you out of your chair and taking hold of your computer, and what the hell, who are these people and where the hell they come?
mm-hmm.
The president's given us permission to use the resources of this Republican Party for what? I mean, it really looks
Yeah,
like that.
I know. Well, I mean, we all have friends, Republican friends, who said, I used to belong to the Abraham Lincoln Republican Party, not the MAGA Republican Party. I don't even recognize this Republican Party right now.
Well, yeah, it's Trump's party. So the fact that Trump has the majority of support doesn't shouldn't surprise us because it's his
Yeah,
party, and anybody that didn't support him left the party and became an independent.
yeah. Whimsy, here's a good question. Will future candidates for government be vetted for criminal convictions?
Ooh, that might be a bill that they would pass in Congress that they would put in.
That's what I'm saying. That makes
Let's take a
sense.
look.
Government criminal investigation. Uh, what I'm getting is that it's going to be a process. We're going to see it moving in that direction. It may not be just like one big sweeping bill, but series of bills leading in that direction, but it's heading there. That's what I'm getting. Now, what are you seeing?
Yeah, it's exactly where it's headed because it's an honor and a privilege to be asked by the American citizens to be their leader, the head of their country, and so this is really looking like you have the strength of the nation, and then you have the opposition is confusion. So a certain group of people that want to be dictators, but you have the inverted emperor, which is a dictator,
Mm-hmm.
and the inverted chariot. So it's basically a coup that doesn't happen. It's the inverted chariot and it's the inverted emperor. They kind of like blows up. It kind of blows up in their faces.
I'm even
I
thinking
think
like
we
an implosion.
Well, I think that I think that Sheldon Whitehouse, is that his name? There are a lot of people that are working on. I thought the Constitution and our democracy was screwed. I no longer feel that way because of
Yeah.
even in the case, just because you're pouring money politically into a party is not going to, and Citizens United is not going to protect you from a federal indictment with these types of cards, because with these types of cards they're saying we're still going to go after you for taxes, we're still going to go after you if you bribe someone, if you attempt to interrupt an election. Having a bunch of money is not going to protect you
Yeah.
from federal prosecution, and that's basically what's happening here. I think people wanted to check and see if, and I think I would like to know that as well. Justice Thomas, he got caught taking bribes, and
Yes.
Ginny was part of January 6th. Do you want to? We've got a little bit of time left. Do you want to check on Ginny to see what's going to happen with Ginny Thomas?
Jenny Thomas.
Yeah,
Okay, I have to phrase this in a yes.
is she going to be charged?
Going to be charged. Jenny Thomas going to be charged. Jenny Thomas going to be charged. Is Jenny Thomas charged? It's okay. I'm getting a maybe swinging toward a no, nebulous, which is not conclusive no, more of a maybe, but I'm not getting a firm yes just yet. Maybe it's the way I'm phrasing the question.
She could be, I don't know what she's going to be charged with, but she could actually face charges because we have within 30 days a decision to charge is possible. You can see Nine of Wands, which is incarceration in the 30-day period. If she's going to be charged, it will happen within the next 30 days.
Okay.
So that would tell me that not only do they arrest these co-conspirators and charge Trump, but that they then move on to the people who paid for the buses, the people that engineered this, because you've got this incarceration, and that could be the Federal Society and the people that paid for this. This is an incarceration card, and this is a 30-day period. You also
Yeah.
have the Grim Reaper.
That's not looking so
Yeah,
good.
and a celebration of the opposition, which would be us. The other thing that's kind of interesting is that you've almost got this bloody war energy because you've got this ambassador of peace coming in the battlefield and grief for the Republicans. Look at that. The
Ooh.
bloody blood coming out of the imagery of the Morgan Greer is just really gruesome.
It's
They
interesting
take a
that
huge what they're saying is that the political hit is so bad for Trump's Republican Party that it could completely dismantle them in 2024 because they're going to be spending all their time defending this guy.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's interesting you said the word bloody because the hit I was getting was bloodbath.
Yeah.
Like now it's going to be a bloodbath for the Republican Party, and then you said bloody right after that. And it also is interesting. In one of my notes here, I had was that 53.8 million was raised for Trump's reelection campaign, and 52 million of that has already gone just for legal expenses, just to cover their asses. You know, it's crazy. Oh, there's also a full moon on the 30th of this month.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The question is that going to bring, what is that going to bring? More good luck or
Well,
nightmare?
it brings a lot of menstrual cycle. A lot of women will have their menstrual cycle on the full moon.
Hmm.
Ovulate. What do we ovulate on the new moon? And we have our cycle on the full moon. But it's interesting in the Talmud, Rosh Hashanah, which is the
Mm-hmm.
lunar calendar, when it's the first moon, when the new moon, it says in the Talmud that a man should buy beautiful things for his wife, like a gift, because it's the time of the moon energy. So there
Wow.
was this
That,
awareness of the goddess, the Shekhinah, the feminine aspects of God, and that it was really high energetically with women around the new moon, right? And many women would be ovulating. So it's time to make love, make babies. So it's interesting that the Talmud says the new moon's coming along, which what we say in Hebrew, Rosh Hashanah, the head of the month. Time to get your wife something a little nice. Go make love, maybe make a baby.
that like a push gift,
Yeah.
and a wife, baby. I was going to say, the movie Yentl with Barbara Streisand. She played a woman disguising herself as a boy so
Mm.
she could study to be a rabbi. There was a cut song from the movie about the moon and how the moon affects women. I wish I could remember it better right now, but it's on one of Barbara Streisand's, I think it was Just for the Record, where it was outtakes and cut material. So I found that
I'm
intriguing.
so glad we're bringing this up because the next interview I do with Tawny is going to be all about we're going to talk estrogen, I mean, it's all about,
Oh yes, oh
it's
yes.
amazing.
But
It's amazing, just the whole, how much she has been helping everybody with questions about,
oh,
I mean, just everything from,
Ani is a woman on a mission.
that's right.
Powerful.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah. So this month we'll be doing bioidentical hormone restoration, and then what I really want to do. I want to have her on so we talk about makeup tips for people that are starting to, because a lot of people will start out, gently if they're transgender, where they may just want to start putting on makeup or something like that. So it might be fun to do
That's
an
fabulous.
episode with her where we just talk about makeup tips and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Are you going to do a show with her out here in California? I
We
appreciate for
tried,
doing
but
that.
unfortunately, she's going to be, I think, in Colorado at a conference. So,
Oh,
yeah.
I am so sorry to hear that because I was just looking forward to us all
Yeah,
getting
we
together.
always have fun. Well, I had fun today. Did you have fun?
I had the best time.
Oh, so
I love my time with you and all you people out there.
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. This is the
Yeah,
best.
and I think you look
Yeah.
great with show your merch one more time. That if you want to help
Yeah.
support the channel and support us, be sure and check out all the great merch that was developed by our
Yeah.
very own Debbie Brady. If you're trying to get in for a reading with me, please check out tarotwithwhimsy.com or the information below this video about the Booksy app if you want to book just through Booksy. Also, if you just need a quick 5-minute reading with me, you can do that by sending a question to Wizio. And that information is below. I think it costs $30, and I can pre-tape a question for you. Anything else we need to say before we close out today?
Well, there's always a myriad of things for us to talk about, but I think we've covered
Memberships, the
important
membership drive. We
stuff.
always love when people can become members. Fairies and Angels for $2.99, and then you can get together and hang out with me at the Mystery School on Saturdays. That's a lot of
Yeah.
fun. Also, we
Uh,
teach HCRV at the $9.99 level if you're an elders, empath, and healer, and we get together once a week to do that as well. If you want to be a benefactor, that's even better. For $99 a month, you get to hang out with me privately, and you get all the other benefits as well. Yeah,
Hanging out with Whimsy is a
on the
good thing,
phone.
by
I
the
mean, I give you a free, but
way. I'm just reading all the nice compliments here from people. Fun chat. Chuck and Whimsy night is fun. I thank you.
now
Thank
it
you very
looks
much.
like something special is going on. Can you tell us what's going on August 7th? Uh, Lucille
On August,
Ball. When's her birthday?
well, August 6th is Lucille Ball's
Okay,
birthday.
excuse me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So that's something we have to look forward to, right? When
Yes, it is. We'll have to celebrate Lucy's birthday. But of course, in Jamestown, New York, they're having a big week-long festival. It's already in effect right now with the National Comedy Center, the Lucy Des Museum, Lucille Ball's childhood home, where my artwork hangs.
yes.
I have 4 paintings of the Ball family proudly hanging in the parlor living room of Lucille Ball's childhood
Oh my
home. So
God, that's
in
awesome.
hi, let me know what you think. My sister was there 2.5 weeks ago. She went. My sister from Colorado was in Buffalo, New York, and she made the hour-and-a-half drive just to see my artwork. She and my oldest niece. I was very, very touched by that.
Wow. So I bet your sister is very proud of you now that you've become this famous artist.
Well, she seems to be. Yes,
All right. Do we have any more
I love
quick
my.
questions before we close out today?
Can't think of anything that we've covered. How much time do we have? We have
We have a couple minutes
a
left.
couple of minutes. I'm trying to think. Well, anything you can think of, Whimsy, we'd like to
I'm
cover.
just going to check and see if anybody has any quick questions for us. Oh, yes. People are upset about SCOTUS. Any last thoughts about SCOTUS before we close today?
Oh, we've only got a
I
minute.
find it horrifying. People are basically
Yeah.
asking, this is not the best thing to end on, but are our courts bought and sold? I don't know. Can we save the courts from these lobbyists? Let's take a look.
When you say the courts, you mean the
The
Supreme
Supreme
Court,
Court.
right?
People are upset about the
Okay.
Supreme Court. So,
Can we, obvious. I get a yes. That was a pretty easy yes. Of course we can.
yes, because it has to do with the way in which the Constitution is formed and the balance of powers. And when these kinds of imbalances happen, it falls on the legislative branch and the executive to rein them in. And so the answer is the Empress. It will be resolved. Also, the opposition to the court is the King of Swords, which would be the laws, right? So you also have a Hermit card. So basically, what the cards are saying is that when any branch of the government becomes out of whack, because of the way the Constitution is built, it becomes the responsibility of the other two branches to deal with it, and that's what will happen.
The checks and balances of the
Yeah,
two branches.
yeah,
It has. It's just so far out of balance right now.
yeah, very
Uh,
crazy.
yeah, I feel like 3 of the justices have been rendered lame ducks right now.
Yeah, it's very true. All right.
No,
I want to thank everybody for hanging with
you,
me. Thank you so much, Chuck. It was a blast as usual.
you,
Had a great
and
time.
we're going to be together next week
We are. The
live.
show is together
You know,
live next week. And thank you to the wonderful Debbie Brady. That'll
thank
be
you.
fun. And I guess one of the topics people asked us to talk about, and I'm sure we can, has to do with the UFO activity out of Los Angeles.
Oh,
Yes, there's evidently
we're
a considerable
that.
amount. Yes, I had no idea, and which is interesting because LA is a large city, but evidently, you guys have a lot of saucers.
We also have a lot of funky energy here. Maybe
Yeah,
that's what they're.
so we'll talk about that, and I guess we planned on talking about haunted Hollywood a little bit for next
Oh
Tuesday.
yeah,
So those are the things we're talking about.
a
We're talking
lot of
about
stories.
haunted. We talked about haunted. Yes, haunted Hollywood.
Haunted
Toy boat,
Hollywood. Yeah.
toy boat, haunted Hollywood, and we're also going to be talking about UFOs over Griffith Park.
I was just going to say the Griffith Park Observatory would be the perfect landing spot, high above the city,
Yes.
well
Well,
designated, well lit at night, easy to find.
yes. Well, evidently there's a story to that, so we'll be talking about that. All right. Thank you
Okay.
to all of you. Thank you again for coming
Thank
in.
you.
We are out of here, and I guess we'll see you next time. Thank
See
you,
you next time.
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye bye.